and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Wednesday, April 2nd. We begin with news on the city's west side, where police say 5 people, including an infant, have been rushed to hospitals after a serious crash. IMPD says it happened around 5:15 this morning on Tibbs Avenue near West Walnut Street, just north of West Michigan Street. Authorities say a car carrying 4 people, including the infant, collided with another car. Police say the second car only had 1 person inside. Officers say the infant was taken to a hospital in critical condition. The other 4 were stable. Police say this area will likely be shut down for several hours. We are still working to find out what caused this crash, but police do tell us that both drivers were taken for blood draws, which is standard procedure. To Capitol Hill, where after 25 hours and 5 minutes, New Jersey Senator Cory wrapped up the longest recorded speech in U.S. Senate history, closing with a nod to Congressman and civil rights leader John Lewis. Take a listen.
It's not left or right, it's right or wrong. Let's get in good trouble. My friend, Madam President, I yield the floor.
Booker started the marathon speech at 7 p.m. Monday, calling for resistance against actions from President Trump and his administration. The previous Senate speech record, 24 hours and 18 minutes, set by Senator Strom Thurmond in 1957 during his filibuster of a civil rights bill. At the State House, lawmakers are scheduled to vote on a major change to Indiana's Medicaid program. Yesterday, more than 100 people on Medicaid rallied at the State House saying these changes could mean losing their health care coverage. News 8's Britt Noble reports.
Well, we're told the work requirements for the Healthy Indiana plan could push up to 150,000 Hoosiers off of the program. And that's because the state Medicaid agency is asking to review users' eligibility every quarter rather than once a year. The Senate's top budget writer says Medicaid's growth is unsustainable because it's grown by $5 billion within the last 4 years. And according to him, Medicaid could overtake education as the state's largest expense. Users rallied at the State House and delivered a petition with more than 700 signatures to Governor Mike Braun's office. Susan Brackney works as a freelance writer. She has rheumatoid arthritis and treatment-resistant depression.
Honestly, without my medicine and the regular care that I get from the Healthy Indiana plan, there is no way I would be as high functioning as I am. And that enables me to work as a self-employed writer.
The House Ways and Means Committee is set to vote on the Medicaid bill today. So stick with News 8 for updates both on air and online at wishtv.com. I'm Britt Noble for Wish TV, wishtv.com. Follow us on Facebook for updates.
On to a story IT has been following. A video of an Indiana senator responding to a fired federal employee is making waves nationwide. News 8's Farron Franzak reports.
More job cuts are on the way for federal workers at U.S. health agencies, specifically the Department of Health and Human Services. Well, some of those fired HHS employees gathered in the Senate basement out in Washington, D.C., where they spotted Senator Jim Banks Tuesday. One of those men asked Banks about his own firing. News 8's Kyla Russell and I spoke to that fired employee. It's this video that's gone viral. Former Health and Human Services budget analyst Mac asking Indiana Senator Jim Banks Tuesday in the Senate basement what he plans to do with those laid off from HHS.
These are USAID workers.
Hi, I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally on February 14th. There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it.
Dude,
wow. Yeah, that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown.
The video sparking reactions on both sides of the aisle. Schroeder says he's been going to the Senate basement for weeks, not for him, but to find out what will happen to the people he can no longer serve.
Specifically, I was supporting programs in the Administration for Community Living that helped older adults and people with disabilities.
Schroeder says his firing came out of nowhere after the Department of Government Efficiency sent him an email Valentine's Day saying he wasn't meeting performance standards and no longer employed.
Despite having exceptional performance reviews. So it was just sent to thousands of people across the board. And then from there, after that weekend, I was locked out of my equipment and unable to work after that.
Schroeder says he specifically asked Senator Banks how he's going to help his Indiana constituents.
Since there's so many older adults and people with disabilities in every state, I know there are about, I believe, 700,000 people who will lose health services in Indiana from the cuts. I just wanted to speak with him about that. And then the elevator doors just closed, and I didn't get to speak with him after that.
After the video made the rounds on social media, Senator Jim Banks issued this statement, quote, "I went to Washington to decrease the size and scope of the federal government. No one is entitled to a taxpayer-funded job, especially in positions that waste those funds. I fully support President Trump and the Department of Government Efficiency's mission to eliminate waste."
It felt like a very childish kind of attack. I was alarmed and I would say pretty disappointed just to know that he didn't have a response.
Schroeder says this is not a partisan issue because a key part of his job was finding and tracking down Medicare fraud. He says now with the HHS department shrinking, more fraud could happen.
I was a civil servant. I didn't get into this work to really push an agenda forward. And we serve constituents in Indiana that are part of both parties, just really making sure people get their needs met. And if those services aren't being provided, we're going to have a lot of people who are really upset because they've paid, their fair share in taxes and they're not getting what they're entitled to.
Now, it's important to note that the courts have not made a ruling on these employee firings at the HHS. So technically right now, the HHS firings are not illegal. For IT Mate, I'm Farron Franzak for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Let's talk sports. The Pacers are officially playoff bound for the second straight year. Indiana locked in the fourth seed in the Eastern Conference last night thanks to the Portland Trail Blazers' 127-113 win over the Atlanta Hawks. If the season ended today, the Pacers would face the Pistons in the first round with home court advantage. Just 7 games remain in the regular season, including tonight's matchup at home against the Hornets. Tip-off for that game is set for 7 o'clock. When it comes to the weather, Storm Track 8 is tracking severe patterns moving in. Meteorologist Tara Hastings has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
What we're seeing right now, that wave kind of exiting, that's with the warm front. Later on today, the cold front will bring us some more significant severe weather. So let's kind of walk you through what we can anticipate here for the day today. We're going to see severe weather threat, our severe weather threat scale at a level 4 now compared to yesterday. We were at a level 3. That's out of 5 here. So all severe weather modes in play today with some winds that could be in excess of 70 plus miles per hour, some hail, also some flooding rains, and yes, tornadoes are possible as well. So intense line of thunderstorms are going to move through later on this evening. Let's kind of walk you through and show you what we're anticipating here. That line of showers and thunderstorms exits the state, and most of the day today, up until about 5, 6 o'clock, I think it's going to be dry. It's going to be warm. It's going to be incredibly windy as well. But the severe weather threat highlighted here in yellow, that's where I'm anticipating about 5, 6 o'clock, stretching until about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning will be the greatest chance of seeing some of those strong to severe thunderstorms. Right now on Storm Tracker, no more warnings in place at all. We just have some heavy rain across parts of Randolph County, Portland, Bluffton into Huntington, and then also moving off to the north and east around the Fort Wayne area. Lots of lightning and some thunder as well as some intense rain, and then a few spotty showers around the Noblesville area. Live look here in Speedway, we're just mostly cloudy with a few spits of rain here or there. Temps in the upper 40s with winds out of the southeast at 15 miles per hour. We're anticipating winds today, non-thunderstorm wind gusts, anywhere between 40, maybe upwards of 50 miles per hour. High temperatures today into the 70s, maybe even flirting with 80 in some spots. We're going to look for some heavy rain to continue for the rest of the week. We'll talk about our flooding potential, all of that coming up in a little bit.
To get a peek at Tara's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com, or you can download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And don't forget to check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Wednesday, April 2nd. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV. wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.